What's going on? Welcome back to Financial Journey. So today we're going to talk to you about Rivian. I want to go over some of the current data points, break it down on what's really prompting it to go down and where is it heading next. Before we get into any of that, make sure to hit that thumbs up, and with that, let's get right to it. Starting off, Rivian is down 6%. We are currently in power hour and 24.03 million shares have been traded. 33 is the average. And so one positive thing so far from today is majority of the volume being done today is actual institutions getting in and out, not linked to algorithmic trading. So again, that's kind of a positive thing. Glass half full kind of scenario. 1.04 million and then 3.27 million are some large transactions. Today, there's been no news from Rivian itself, no SEC filings. So it has just been piggybacking off of the broader market. So I'm going to talk on basically three things that is really causing Rivian to go down. Only one of which is linked to Rivian itself. So starting off, this morning, there was initial jobless claims coming out. 238,000 was the actual, 235 is the forecast. So not necessarily the best. So you match this with what recently came out as far as retail sales, and this is where you're getting some signs of cracking coming from the consumer standpoint. So purchasing power essentially isn't necessarily going to be there, or at least forecasted to be there, and thus affecting a lot of growth stocks and especially the EV sector. So that's point number one. Second one is the S&P hit a crazy high level of 5,500. So as soon as that did happen, it seems as though the market just panicked and started to take a step back and say, hey, should we be there? So it's more of a broader concern right now. Again, there's some valid points to be made whether we should be at these levels or not, but still that's what's really affecting today. So you kind of have those 2 points, and then specific to Rivian, you do have its own technicals kind of working against it. So I'm going to go over that near the tail end of the video, but starting off, shorts are increasing 684,000 shares, 18.36% of the free float is being shorted, works out to be 130 million shares overall are being shorted. Utilization 67.67, short score, so the higher the number, the higher the likelihood of a squeeze happening is 74.54%. So I like to bring this up more as a analysis, not necessarily to say that Rivian needs a squeeze play. On a side note, I guess cost to borrow average is 1.13%. And just generally speaking, shorts have returned quite a lot, but they are still lingering. So they're kind of waiting for more broader fears to possibly increase and get back into the 20+% range. So we'll just have to wait and see. When it comes down to the Elliott Wave technicals, I'll give you a quick overview of what they are currently saying. So as of right now, it does have a pivot point of $12.20. So for as long as Rivian is below that, which right now it is, this is where it is anticipated to get between the low to the mid $8 range. So like I said, just the technicals are kind of working against itself a little bit, and that was prior to a lot of that broader fear starting to develop. Looking at some of the latest analyst ratings, there was one done 3 days ago, $11 price target hold rating by Mizuho Vijay, who does have a 57% success rating. So still not necessarily the best, not as optimistic as the last couple, but still I think fairly good in my opinion. Latest Morningstar report does show the fair market value for Rivian being $17.21. So again, I just wanted to give you guys an update. No matter what, you guys do your own due diligence at the end of the day. On a side note, if you're looking for a lot of good free compiled information such as analyst ratings, forecasts, everything that you need, take a look at IBKR, link in the description below and also the comments. But still, moving on from here, I'll go over some of the other additional information, starting off with options. 4.29 million in calls, 2.76 million in puts. 55% of all the options being done today are optimistic and bullish, but no doubtably, a lot of that bullishness is just shorts hedging their bets. Looking at the call options that are being purchased, there's a consensus for it to be above $10.50 by this Friday and roughly around $10 by next Friday. And then looking at puts, you do see a consensus for it to be sub around $10 to $9.50. So risk versus reward is very much in favor of more downside, at least based on the options. Options doesn't obviously move the stock price by any means, but it is a good sentiment to kind of review. As of right now, with it at $10.30, this is where it is essentially staring off of a virtual cliff. When I started to do the video, especially over this last little bit, it was flirting with this S2. So right now it is trading between this S3 and this S2. Kind of shows that the market's treating it as trash, as bad as that sounds. Not saying that Rivian is trash itself, but any stock trading between this range right now does have fundamental issues with it. So again, something to kind of consider. So $9.73 is going to be that next strong support, and then vice versa, $10.36 is going to be that next strong resistance. But we'll just have to wait and see what does come in the next couple trading days, if it does stay above or if it does trade below. But on a larger scale, like I said, just the technicals are projecting for Rivian to hit that low 8s to possibly mid 8s. So kind of extreme if you ask me. But over this last 1 week, which has gone down about 10%, it all started because Rivian was wanting to break out. This was nice and steady, but it did get to the point where it was considered overbought. And you can see that based on stochastic. Typically the first sign of weakness or it failing to kind of get over a very strong resistance level, this is where you get consolidation and more of a reset on the technicals. So all of this downtrend right here had nothing to do with the operations or anything. It was just more of a technical driven pullback. And that does happen from time to time. So as you can kind of see, it did fail to get above this R2 right here. So the $12.40 range. So all of that just has been causing this pullback. Over the last couple of trading days, there's been some specific fears associated to just the broader market, EVs. That's obviously causing some volatility with Rivian, but still, mind you, right now it is in the lower percentile of the Bollinger Band, still above that 50-day moving average. So it's not down and out just yet, but you do really need to watch for it to hold that 50-day moving average, because if not, then this is where you could see a new 52-week and all-time low hit with Rivian sooner rather than later. You do see a very bearish deviation on stochastics, a red line above the white, as well as number of retail investors have just been getting out as of today. So like I mentioned, there's just a lot of fears in the broader market. And yeah, so if you do believe in Rivian, take advantage of these discounted prices, especially if you do have a long-term time horizon, or if you are one of those individuals that likes to catch the exact bottom, then maybe hold off, wait a little bit more to kind of see the 9s, or if the Elliott wave technicals do come to fruition, then maybe the 8s. So what's your thoughts? Don't forget to hit that thumbs up. Give yourself a shout out in the comments if you have been buying. If you have been selling, give yourself a shout out in that. And one final thing I just wanted to share with you, take advantage of this promo. Simply sign up for a new account, throw $100 at it, and they give you 5 free stocks. Each stock is valued up to $2,000. Kick-ass deal. Link in the description below and also the comments. With all that said, appreciate all of you watching.